Welcome to the Faith Film Fan Podcast. Today, I've got Aaron Benward with me, and Aaron is working a producer for the film God Family Football. But I've
Hello.
known Aaron for a long time. Aaron Jeffrey, his dad Jeffrey, and him were singers back in the day.
We were. Hey, real quick, Mike, I don't want me to stop you. I just want to make sure it's accurate. It's God Family is a series, not a movie.
God, yeah, series. I'm sorry,
Okay.
series. Yep, it's on.
Yeah, if you wanted
Let's
to.
do that again.
Yeah, I think you want to write.
Let's do it right. Come on now, let's get this right. Welcome to the Faith Film Fan Podcast. Today, I'm talking to Aaron Benward. Aaron is the producer of the series God Family Football. You can find that series. New seasons are coming out on Fox Nation right now as we speak. There's two on there, and the third one is the third Fox Nation season is up there, and then the first season you can see on Amazon Prime. So, Aaron, welcome to the show. Good to have you here.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it, bro. It's good to be with you.
So, Aaron and his dad used to be a singing duo. Aaron Jeffrey, they had hits all over Christian radio.
Wow, it seems like a whole nother life ago, Rick. It's
Back
crazy.
in the day, I was a recording artist too. I have dozens of fans, and you have hundreds of dozens of fans. You probably sold about 100 times more records than I did.
Well, man, that's back in the 1900s, man. That's back.
So let's start, if you don't mind. Aaron, how do you go from singing with your dad, being a recording artist, Christian recording artist, with hits on the radio and everything? How do you end up producing a series, God Family Football? How does that journey happen for you?
Well, it's not a typical one, and it didn't happen necessarily sequentially. It was very much one that took a lot of twists and turns, and is a movie in and of itself, I think. After my Christian music career, I had a country music career, and we had some hits in that space. How did that then turn into producing film and television? It really was a scenario where my wife, our firstborn, our son, Luke Benward, at 5 years old. This is a little bit of a long story, but it'll give you the whole context. 5 years old, was cast as Mel Gibson's son when We Were Soldiers, which was a Vietnam War movie. And from there, the doors just continued to open for him. And he went on to have an extensive career and still does in film as an actor, all through the Disney Channel system and years. And those listening that have kids that grew up on Disney Channel would absolutely know Luke Benward. But with that, I was on and off the road. You were talking about touring and music. I was on and off the road. And when he would be filming, whether it was in Austin or Spokane or LA or wherever, I would go there rather than coming to Nashville, and would often sit, talk to producers of film, kind of get into their head a little bit and realize that, a lot of their skill sets were the ones that I had, meaning, a lot of relational equity and things and getting things across the finish line, to being more involved in than just a creative. I've always was one that was more than a face and a voice on a record. I really enjoyed the marketing process, the budgeting of it, how it was all going to get done. And so all those things kind of encompass what it is to produce a film and television. And so, as my touring career in the country music world was coming to an end in about 2009, I just started kind of beginning to dip my toe into what it would look like to produce a film, to which the first one I did was called Playing God, and started Watershed Motion Pictures, which is the company that I have today with some partners. And so, it wasn't a planned transition. It was just one where, being on the road was something I'd done my whole life, and it's a young man's game. And I was still writing a lot of music and things, but just felt like that was the next thing that I was supposed to do. And I'm the kind of guy that if I get something in my brain, I just kind of go for it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but have faith that it will. And so that's how it happened.
So let's talk about God Family Football. This series you're doing, it's do all series, are they taking place at Evangel, their
Yes.
football team,
Yes.
high school football team, right?
That's correct. It's Friday Night Lights in real life is like what I like to call it. And how did I happen upon them? Well, when my dad, he was a gospel singer my whole life. So when I was 12 years old, I met Denny Duron, the coach of this team, when I was 12. I'm 51, so nearly 40 years ago. And he made such a major impact on my life, the kind of guy that you wanted to be like. You looked at him and he was just a complete renaissance man, and someone that, made me feel really good as a young man and continued to stay in my life. And it was a voice in my life as a mentor to me. And so all these years, I mean, I've been married for 31 years. We have three children and now two grandchildren. Many times throughout my life, I would just be like, what would Denny do in this instance? Whether it was a decision about work or a decision about something going on with my wife or my kids or just life. And he was that big of an impact on me. And so he just took an interest in me as a young man too. And so we have a really close relationship. And in 2020, we were talking about a scripted version, a movie version of how Evangel Christian Academy, this little dinky school in northwest Louisiana, in Shreveport, Louisiana, became a juggernaut of a high school football team in the state of Louisiana, across the nation. They've won one or two national championships and many, many state championships. They are a small 200, less than 300, I should say, high school in the high school, but they play the largest Division 5A football in Louisiana. And that's real football. How do they do it? How did they become so successful? And really, it goes back to the visionary, the one who did put it all together, and that was Denny, my mentor. And so in 2020, he had retired, man. He was out of football. He was enjoying his life with his wife. He had 19 grandchildren, seven children, and we were talking, catching up in the end of September in 2020. I'll never forget it. Just how's life? How are things? Blah, blah, blah. Because of them being known for their high school football team at that little school, we always got around to, well, how's the team this year? And at that moment, he said, you know what, Aaron, this is really weird. I haven't said this since 1990, but we haven't won a game yet. And that's like unheard of. That's like never happened. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. I said, what are you going to do about it? He said, I think I'm going to come back out of retirement. I think God's calling me back out. I said,
So
why?
he retired,
Retired.
and then they started losing.
He started losing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about a coach. I mean, but
Right. And
it's all about a coach.
and so he decided to come back, man. And in that moment, I said, well, let's put a pause on the film version of your story, because I definitely want to do that. But really feel like God said, this is it. God, family football, tell his story in real time. And so I said that to him, and he said, okay, whatever you want to do. So I went down about 2 weeks later, very quickly, and shot a little sizzle took us about 3 days to film and put together. And that got us where we are today. And we're now getting ready to start shooting season 4 here in September, this month.
Fantastic. So season 1 is on Prime, Amazon
Mhm.
Prime,
Mhm.
and seasons 2 and 3 are currently on Fox Nation. Is 3
Correct.
completely released? Are all episodes on 3 released?
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
And then to see that, you have to have a Fox Nation subscription. Is that correct?
Yeah, just like Netflix. Fox Nation is very similar,
Okay.
but cheaper than Netflix, I think.
Yeah. And are they on DVDs? Are they available any other way, or is that the only way to see them?
That's the only way right now. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, you go down, you do a little sizzle, and and I know you got to have money. You're going to have a budget. You got to have a crew. You got to film. So then how do you find money to film this? Where do you find that? And then
The sizzle part of it, myself and my business partners, we did it. We have some cameras, and we have an editing facility and things like that we already had. So as far as actually outside funding for the sizzle, we didn't take any or need any. And then honestly, there's a really faith-filled story within this, to be honest, if you have a second. We went around. I made all the stops. The guy, my representation, my agent, got me in every door. I'm talking the top of ESPN to the top of HBO. I was in every room pitching this show, and 10 out of 10 great responses from everyone saying this is compelling. Denny is a star. The world needs to see this. This is fresh. Nothing out there like it. And so we're getting great response. However, as often it can be, the faith element of it was a little bit. They were uncertain if they weren't ready to get into that space or not, and so we actually did some development on Peacock's dollar. Peacock came in and said, we really think we like it. Let's do some development. So we did. And, we're going down the road, starting getting into post for that. I was realizing that their view of the show and what I really felt in my heart the show were opposite. They weren't the same. And so I called Denny. I forget. I called Denny one day. I said, I think I'm gonna pull the show from Peacock. It just does not feel like where we want to go. It's not authentic. And so he said, do whatever you feel like you're supposed to do. So we did, and it was amicably split. They totally got it. They understood. So we were back at the drawing board. I had no one. And we went back around, and Amazon came to us and said, we think we missed it the first time, and we really would love the shot at doing it. And it was through their Freebie, which was their ad-based platform at the time. So it was a Freebie original, funded by Amazon. And then here's where the faith comes in. So it came out and did really, really well. They did a great job of promoting it and marketing it, and the response was really, really great. During the course of that time, the Freevee brand, the ad-based side of Prime, was basically on its way out. They discovered that they would just wanted to stay with the one brand of Amazon Prime, and so that put us in a little bit of a flux when it came down to greenlighting the next season. Well, contractually, they released the season during football, September 1st, let's call it. They had till November 1st to tell me. Well, problem was that's when I would need to be filming the new season. So if I waited and to them to tell me, I would have missed the season. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and film the season. And this is where God came in. I'll never forget it. I was driving to Shreveport from Dallas to show Denny the new to this first season, and I knew I was in the situation where I got to figure out how to film this and get it in the can in the hopes that Amazon would then greenlight it and we would have it and they would be thankful. And then they would then fund the second term would then come into effect and we'd have all the funding would be fine. But I had to get there and I had to use, independent investors to do that. So I was driving and to show Denny and I said, God, what am I supposed to do? He goes, how far are you willing to go with this? And I said, as far as you want me to. And that's when I got the call and said, hey, we're not going to re-up it. And in about 4 days, we raised enough money to shoot the show, only shoot it, no post, only shoot that season so that we had it. And that's when, after we shot it, we still had nothing, nothing, nothing. Of course, you shoot the football season. So by January, February the next year, you start thinking about post, start cutting it together. Had nothing, nothing. In May of that year, Fox Nation said, wait, the show's available? The vice president, one of his favorite shows he watched with his son on Amazon. And we said, yeah. And he said, well, we would love it. We want to build our Faith on Fox initiative around God Family Football. And
Wow, that's great.
yeah, that's where we are today, man.
So, if you don't mind me asking, well, that is a great journey. When you're with Amazon, let's just say Amazon, do they give you a one and done payment, or do they kind of help you with the cost, and then you get payment based on viewership? How do you get? Is it different with everybody?
It might be different there. For me, for us, it was an original, so therefore they gave us the cost, the budget that we needed to make it. So
And that's it.
yeah, and I mean they do it in tranches. They don't give you all the amount up front. You got to meet benchmarks, and then that triggers the next phase of funding. So no, a lot of times they'll give you what you need for the field to shoot it, and then in post it'll be benchmarks as far as when you deliver certain episodes, rough cuts of certain episodes. Usually that's how it is with Fox. At those points, that triggers the next round of funding.
And so they pay you an amount, and whether 800 people or 800 million people watch it, same, you get paid same amount.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, all right. So it's kind of like going into it what you're going to make, so you can know what kind of profits you're going to get out of it, and then figure out and budget for future
Yeah,
use.
budget accordingly to what you basically you come to an agreement as far as, hey, this is what we need to make 8 episodes. For me and Fox, it's 8 episodes of about 45 minutes each. And we're down there. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'll be down there until middle of December. I mean, they're down a long time, and we're shoot over 1,000 hours of footage.
Wow.
It's a lot of content.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And so what led you to want to do this? Why do you want to make films? I mean, you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you kind of come from that world. What made you want to switch over to films? Why films?
I really want to. I'm a storyteller at heart, and I really feel that this day and age, we are actually in a great, great era of being able to tell stories. I feel that for me, the stories I want to tell are going to be redemptive in nature. They're not going to be sermons on screen, but they're going to be redemptive in nature. I believe that everyone has their own story, and you can't argue with their story. We can argue about opinions, we can argue about different things, but you can't argue with someone's story. That's how powerful story is. And so for me, being able to, for example, put God Family Football out there for everyone to see the true, authentic story of a man that is absolutely making a massive impact and on a culture that's making a massive impact on some little corner in Louisiana is one version. Um, And I feel like, look, it's like sermons are great and I love them. Going and being a part of worship is great and I love it. I love leading worship. But there's something different about when a story, whether it's unscripted or scripted, that can impact you in a way that nothing else can. And so, look, man, I'm proud of the faith-based community when it comes to the filmmakers. It started off really bad. Production quality was horrible. I'll just say it. I think everybody would agree with me. But now we're really starting to really compete from a production level with everyone else, and thank God.
So how did you? So now there's a bar. You got to learn. You got to learn about. So now tell me about the role. Are you producer, executive producer as well? Are you doing any directing, editing? What roles are you actually playing in this?
Yeah, I created the show, so I'm the creator of the show, and I'm the showrunner of the show, which means, yeah, I'm everything kind of comes through me, so to speak, from the standpoint of story. I direct the scenes. Obviously, on the post side, when we're cutting it, I have an unbelievable executive producer on that side who is just overseeing the post. But ultimately, yeah, it's a scenario where there's a lot of responsibility, man. It really is, and so this it's hard. This is my first time doing scripted. Okay, now we're in our fourth season, so I've learned a lot from a. It's such a practice of surrendered storytelling because the way I go about it is not one where I set up this thing, I produce the scene, and here's what you're going to say, here's what I need you to say, and that's not how I do it. I know some people do, and that's fine. I really want to be a fly on the wall. I really want to be as authentic and natural and true to who these people are and to their story and what they're about as possible. And so what I do, consequently, we turn on cameras and we let them be. Do I at sometimes toss out, hey, what about last Friday night when such such happened? Let's hear about that. Yes. But that's the extent of it. And so, I think that learning so much about letting and this type of storytelling is the next day you're like, all right, God, what are we telling today? Honestly. Um, and so I've learned a lot through that, man. In movies, you know exactly what you're making, you know exactly what you're filming today. And if you don't get it, you gotta figure out how to pick it up. And unscripted, it is literally following these people through their lives and seeing them go through conflict. How do they deal with it? What is the thing about the show is what I wanted to show is this is counterculture to what you normally see in a high school football, especially in the South scenario. This is not a coach that's going to F-bomb the kid when he messes up. This is not a coach that is all about winning football games. This is a coach who is building these young men to be champions off the field first. And then that translates to champions on the field. And many of these kids come from single family homes, man. And these coaches are fathers to these young men. And it's just a beautiful culture to see.
I notice in the show, you've got the coach. He's praying, and he's praying for the, he says, "In Jesus' name." I mean, you're dropping the J bomb, right? You're dropping the J bomb in Jesus' name. So we're praying in the name of Jesus. We got God in the first word in our, so we're not going to hide the fact that we're Christians. We're defining God as Jesus, right? So then talk about that's important. That's an important distinction that we make, right? Because
Hmm.
God can be a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Hmm.
But I think when Jesus, though, said there's one way to the Father, there's no way to the Father but to me, I think he had a very different idea of what God was. He had a very clear idea of what it was, and he communicated it very clearly. So then you're with Peacock, you're with these other people who might not see things that same way. How do you navigate that? Where do you take your stand and what do you stand on and how hard do you drive that? And, talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the good thing about this type of show is that it is what it is, right? So they saw in the sizzle what it was. So there was no, shucking and jiving, no behind, pull the curtain back and it's something different. So that helped. Second to that, once I quite frankly got into the deal with Amazon and we started kind of putting out cuts of what it was going to be, the show. They did want to pull back on some of those moments of really overt Jesus. powerful spiritual moments of baptism or prayer, laying on of hands of prayer and things like that. Um, and so there is that. Look, it's not about me just coming in and being this. I'm a Christian that is not just a Christian that's making stories and telling stories for people that are watching it. I'm also just as important how I deal with the executives at the networks, in my opinion, how I'm leading the crew that are not all Christians. How so in that scenario where they're giving the notes and going, hey man, can we pull back here, pull back there? There is a give and take. And honestly, if I don't agree, I absolutely say, guys, you have to trust me on this. This audience where we're going after for the demographic and for what you guys are trying to achieve, this will ring true. This will be moments that they talk about. And quite frankly, to this point, Amazon was the one that wanted to pull back. Fox did the exact opposite. They said, we want you to lean into it. We want you to lean into what's going on in the school. We want you to lean into how different it is. And so therefore, people that watch this first season on Amazon to the first season on Fox Nation will see a distinct difference between how we were able to sit in and allow the moments, the God moments, the Jesus moments, the powerful spiritual moments to happen, is to me refreshing because it is what it is. There's
Yeah,
no
that's authentic. They're not faking that. They're not making that up. They're not pretending to be Christian. They're not praying and getting baptized because the cameras are on them. This is what's actually happening. Does Amazon share viewership with you at all? Do they keep that to themselves?
yeah, none of the platforms share anything
Okay.
I've dealt with so
So
far.
do you think because it was Christian, that's why they didn't pick it up? What are your thoughts?
I don't, how will I know? It's completely subjective. My gut is no, it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with this consolidation of the two different brands, Freebie and Amazon Prime becoming one, people getting laid off,
Hmm.
different things. And honestly, I think it was a God thing. I really think God took me through personally this journey of faith about and going and raising, upwards of about $600,000 from people in 3 days to go, hey, let's just film this because we don't film it, we lose it. And they absolutely all jumped in and did it. And then God blessed them. We were able to pay them back plus a preferred return. And once Fox Nation did it, and it was just one of those moments for me that God just said, there is this trust factor, guys, that I said this the other day, and I really believe it. If you feel like God's telling you to do something that's easy, it's probably not God, honestly. Like God calls us into a faith-filled journey with Him that oftentimes makes us go, "What?" And through that journey, when we do that, when we say, "Okay, all right, let's go," then God is able to do what only God can do. Um, and oftentimes, I think we limit the ability for God to show up in our lives because we're too fearful of truly walking and stepping out and trusting Him in an area where we have to let go of and surrender.
So I went on foxnation.com, to look at it and see what it would cost and all that. And so they've got their opening page, right, for people who are interested in foxnation.com. And they have 100 of their shows, small little boxes of each show. And they're kind of all, fuzzy and grayed out. At the bottom right-hand corner, kind of like the prime real estate of that page, in clear, bright lights, is God Family Football.
Mhm.
Bottom
Yeah.
right-hand corner, it's the good real estate. They've got I think they've got what's his name? I can't even their guy.
Hannity,
Anyway, huh?
Hannity or
Kennedy.
George?
Yeah, Hannity. Yeah, Sean Hannity. I'm sorry. That's just a senior moment right there.
Yeah.
Sean Hannity's up there, but you're the one square that's really well lit, and it's getting highlighted. Literally,
Yeah.
it was highlighted
Yeah.
where the others weren't, but the light was shining on that. So talk to me about being at Fox Nation, what Fox Nation is, and their interest, because obviously they want people to know that they've got God Family Football. You look at that opening page and you can tell, okay, we want you to know about this. So talk about their interest in what you're doing, their support of what you're doing. Tell me a little bit about Fox Nation and and the difference there.
Yeah, man, it's drastically different. I tell you, from the very beginning, when we came in, I mean, like I said, we had all this footage in the can. Very, very at the last minute, they say in 3 months, can you cut 8 episodes together so we can release this in about 3 months. And it was like at the same time they greenlit the season. So I was in post and I was filming, and it was the most crazy moment of my life, but grateful for it. Their partnership has been nothing but stellar. I mean, they truly allow the storytellers and trust us to do what we do, trust the team that I've been able to put together to do what the team does, and help guide us and steer us into refining it, not changing it. And there's a big difference. Oftentimes, whether it was the music business, my experience, when an A&R guy would come in and sign an artist for a certain reason and then want to change him because he wanted to put his thumbprint on it. Similarly with the film and television space, oftentimes they'll sign your project, but then they'll take it a completely different way. And the Fox Nation has been one that didn't change it. They just helped us to refine it, really drill down, get the gold out of it. And they've been nothing but a great partner. In addition to that, man, Fox News Channel, which is obviously their partner, has been pushing it, marketing it. It's all over all the time. They put people from the cast on Fox and Friends will be on actually this week promoting the new episode coming out. I mean, Coach Denny has been on there numerous times. They're supporting what they're saying. And what they're saying is we believe in faith, that faith is important for this country, for people, for families, and we want to showcase that through shows like God Family Football. And man, I can't say enough great things about the way they've handled it and what they've done with the show.
And I've noticed when you go on foxnation.com, they've got like a 7-day trial you can do for free. So,
Yeah.
if you want to, you can get the first season on Amazon Prime, but if you want to at least check out a couple of the episodes, you can get a 7-day trial for free on Fox Nation. So, as well as all the other stuff they have there. But, so talk to me about, this is so interesting. Talk to me about what you love, about storytelling, and especially in the football world. Talk to me about that storytelling in high school football world.
Man, I'm a football nut, man. I love the game of football, and I'm also honestly have always been a champion of young people. I mean, my wife and I had our kids very young. We got married when I was 20. We had our son at 21, and then we had two more girls over the next 4 years. So we were parents very young. We've always been young parents. We've always been the house where everybody comes over to. We lived in Los Angeles for 10 years, from 2012 to 2022. And we put together a thing on Sunday nights called Family Dinner. And we had the young next generation of Hollywood at our home every Sunday night that are now winning Emmys and all over the place. They were just, late teens, early 20s, trying to go to LA to make it, and then when you do that, you leave your families. And so we tried to create a community of family for about 2.5 years where we cooked homemade dinners every night, and we'd have 40 or 50 of these dancers, poets, writers, directors, actors, singers come over to the home. And so we've always been one in a home that is all about community. And so when I get to go down to this beautiful community and film my favorite sport, and also be able to do more than just film a television show, for one of the players, his name is Day Drake. He is one of the premier players on the show. Is going to be a senior this fall. Is now my wife and I's godson. He asked to be our godson. This is a young man who's been raised by his mom, moved from Kentucky. His dad's been incarcerated many years of his life, and not in his life. And that just goes to show you, for the last 3 years of filming, it's way more than filming, dude. That's what we get to do. It's not who I am. Who I am is one that champions people, encourages people, loves on people. And because of that, man, it's filled my heart so much. I cannot wait to get back down there for season 4. And I can't even believe God's let me do it, because I'm so thankful.
What do you want to see with season? What do you want to see with this God Family Football? What do you want to see?
I want to see God Family Football be a brand that lives for a long, long time. God Family Football, the origination of it absolutely is Evangel, absolutely is Denny. And when that comes to an end from the standpoint of that story, and we feel like God is telling us to move on, I want to take the God Family Football brand to another culture that's similar. There's many, 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 many cultures around that have God first, family second, and the sport of football last. And how do different ones do it? I love for it to grow into other sports. I love for the God family, whatever, fill in the blank, becomes something that people can trust. It's a brand they can trust. Families can trust to sit around the television and know that what they're going to get is true and authentic, but also the heart of God and the heart of culture. That and encouraging, man. We need more positive stuff that we all feel safe with our families, man, to sit around and watch. And so God Family Football is that. So I hope it continues to grow.
Oh, I can see it. God Family Rodeo,
Come on, why not?
God Family Baseball,
That's right. That's
right?
right. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, God
Yeah.
Family Swimming, swim team, whatever,
And God Family
whatever.
Cheer, God Family Hoops,
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. God Family Rodeo.
I like that one. It's good.
I think I like that too, and that fits. That's going to fit into that demographic too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be a good demographic there.
For sure. For
And you
sure.
could get some country music. I know somebody who could probably do some of the songs in there.
I get pull the guitar every now and then.
I know somebody who could help out that way.
That's
Well,
right.
Aaron, this has been such a treat. Thank you for taking time to talk with us about God Family Football. And I encourage everyone to go check it out. I enjoyed what I saw on Amazon Prime, and I might even be checking out on getting one of those 7-day
Come on.
free trials on Fox Nation. I mean, I was
Go.
looking at it today. You got me looking. So I mean, I'm
Go.
paying attention. I might want to see second season of this.
Better. It's a lot better. I'll tell
All
you that.
right. I can't wait. I'll share that with my wife. She loves that kind of stuff. So, Aaron, thanks for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you, brother.